In the rugged mountains of West Virginia, deep in the heart of Appalachia, a group of moonshiners gathered in the dimly lit cabin of Old Man Jenkins. The air was thick with the sweet smell of brewing corn mash, and the only light came from the flickering flame of a kerosene lamp. The moonshiners sat in a circle, passing around a jug of the finest homemade moonshine in the county. Old Man Jenkins, the oldest and most experienced of the group, began to speak. "Boys, I reckon it's time we share our recipe with one another. We've been making moonshine in these hills for generations, and it's time we pass down our knowledge before it's lost to time." The other moonshiners nodded in agreement, and Old Man Jenkins began to recite the recipe from memory. First, you'll need to get yourself a good batch of cornmeal. Mix it with some water and yeast, and let it ferment for a few days. Then, you'll need to distill it in a copper still, just like our ancestors did. The moonshiners listened intently, taking mental notes and asking questions along the way. They shared their own tips and tricks for making the perfect batch of moonshine, each one adding to the collective knowledge of the group. The moonshiners listened intently, taking mental notes and asking questions along the way. They shared their own tips and tricks for making the perfect batch of moonshine, each one adding to the collective knowledge of the group. As the night wore on, the moonshiners finished off the jug and headed home with renewed inspiration. They knew that the secret to making the best moonshine wasn't just in the recipe, but in the community that shared it. Years later, the moonshiners' recipe was still being passed down from generation to generation, and the tight-knit community of moonshiners continued to thrive in the hills of West Virginia. And although they knew the risks of their illegal trade, they took pride in their craft and the heritage that came with it.